Happy Monday. We're so close to Christmas. We're even closer to Hanukkah. And it's once again a victory Monday for my Detroit Lions, who after 32.8 years of absolute devastation and disappointment, finally doing pretty good. So it is a good morning, Mario. Good morning, Switch fans. I got 3 interesting new announcements for you, and then we're talking about Nintendo and what they've done. All right, so let me know in the comments down below what you think. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this show, and if your day is starting off rough, it's Monday. You can reset at any time and just pretend it's the beginning of the week again. 3 p.m., beginning of the week. 6 p.m., beginning of the week. 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds, just restart the week. And hey, if Monday goes bad, Tuesday's another shot, but you don't have to wait that long to play new DLC from Mario Strikers Battle League. We got Bowser Jr. and Birdo, as well as a new course and a new set of gear coming December 13th, my birthday. It's launching tomorrow, and will bring the last free update to Strikers Battle League. They've gotten, I think, what, 6 characters? That's pretty good, all things considered, although the game really needs like a expansion of more content, like playthrough. But I'll take new characters. Bowser Jr. looks cool, and Birdo actually rocking the outfits pretty darn well. Now, if you're more of an RPG fan, Final Fantasy 1 through 6 have been rated for Nintendo Switch on the ESRB, so those are 100% happening. And these are most likely the pixel remasters that have somehow, mysteriously, not been on Switch. So if you're a big Final Fantasy fan, excited for Final Fantasy 16, well, that won't be on Switch. But Crisis Core is out on Switch tomorrow, which is pretty darn nifty. Hopefully I can check that out, see how it performs. But we should be getting announcements for 1 through 6 coming to Switch soon. And again, pretty perfect place to play them if you do like the OG old school Final Fantasies. The pixel remasters look nice, and it's a portable system, so can't really go wrong. Also, we've got DC. All right, Gotham Knights came out this year on the other consoles, but we're getting the better game. All right, Justice League Cosmic Chaos is releasing March 10th, and this is the open world co-op fest I've been waiting for. Better art style, better character roster, cooler looking enemies. I really was disappointed by Gotham Knights. Huge Arkham fan, but that game just let me down. This might be fun. It's a family-focused, open-world adventure game. I hope that the combat is nifty, because honestly, the art styles are really, really sick. I know the editor editing this video, my guy, Joseph, I know he's like, that's some good art, right?
Oh, good. Why, that's very good. Yes, I like that.
Anyhow, let's now get into Nintendo and their first party lineup. Okay, next year is supposed to be bananas, right? We know that they're dropping Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We know that they're starting the year off with Fire Emblem Engage. We're hoping for a Mario game. Does Metroid Prime dare appear? It should be an exciting year. But in 2022, they dropped 12 first-party titles by my count. And I want to just see how they did, because this is still part of the pandemic season, which means there's been delays, there's been issues, but there still were 12 games. If you spread them out, 1 per month, which is a pretty good clip. So I want to rank these games with you and see how we felt Nintendo did. If you disagree with my rankings, that's okay. But remember, it is just my personal opinion and list. And to save a lot of trouble, I'm going to save my bottom 3 for last. So number 12, 11, and 10 will be last. We're kicking it off with number 9, Kirby's Dream Buffet. Nintendo decided to get a little weird with it and give us an eShop title at a bite-sized price. Kind of their take on like Fall Guys, although not done with the same scope. It was a pretty fun affair for like 30 minutes. I do love to see Nintendo, though, experiment and tackle more small titles like this. I'd love to see them use their IP for eShop games. I know they have this whole deal where they want to make sure their big heroes cost $60 at all times, but I think it'd be really fun if we got like a new Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the eShop or something like that. Games that previously would have been 3DS titles or DS titles, bring them on over the eShop. It feels like a perfect fit. Now, number 8 will be Nintendo Switch Sports, which I do appreciate for bringing an interesting online survival mode. Like the bowling where you just go last man standing, and now golf, last man standing, is pretty fun. All things considered, though, Switch Sports did fall off far quicker than Wii Sports did. I mean, to be expected, and despite having interesting extra content unlockables, there's not a lot of lasting power for me, so I feel like that was Nintendo getting like a quickie out there, like something that they could make and sort of, you know, try to drum up excitement, and then I don't know. It's like decently fun, but I don't think it's on anybody's like top 10 list or even like most recommendable for new Switch owners, so 8 feels good. Number 7 is going to be a weird one, but just bear with me, okay? This is Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I'm dropping it this low because I have another Pokemon game higher, and it didn't feel right to have them jump together. So for me, when I'm evaluating, I'm like, variety is important, and so it's not that Pokemon Legends is bad, it's just that the other one I liked even more. So number 6 is going to be Mario Strikers Battle League. Phenomenal gameplay. Their 30-second loop is amazing. It's pretty hardcore. I'd say it's a tough one to get kids into, but once you know the controls, like that game purrs along. We just talked about they're adding even more free content and characters, which is cool. But what holds this down, despite being one of my favorite usages of Mario in Nintendo's universe, is that there just isn't much content. You play through the cups, you play online, you play locally. That's about it. I mean, I know it's a sports game, but they did much more with tennis and golf. They should have tried to do more here. It's 2022. This is a $60 product. I wish there was more content because the gameplay there is really great, and I love to just play it one-on-one, but considering the whole picture, it's 6. Number 5 for me is Bayonetta 3, bringing exciting and just all sorts of psycho action to Nintendo Switch. Right, we got nudity, we got hair, we got demons, and we have some pretty poor performance. Not the worst performance of the year, but some poor performance. It feels like the game maybe outgrew the console during development, but it still was very good. A lot of open spaces. I love being able to transform into the different demons, and I think it's still one of the best feeling fighters with Witch Time and the spectacle that you can create with the giant summons and finishers. Number 4, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I know this is a lot of people's pick for their Switch game of the year, but for me, as someone who doesn't love JRPGs, I just respect it. I respect what it's trying to do. I thought the content was quality. I thought the art was interesting, the story engaging. I didn't finish it. It's not for me. I tried. But I do recognize the caliber of this game, and I do appreciate Monolith for delivering such an epic scale title on Nintendo Switch and really pushing that system in the cutscenes and just in roaming around the world. A lot of cool characters, really evil-looking villains, and the ability to turn into those giant, I don't know, Transformer, Power Ranger, Zoidberg things. It's a good game. It's not my favorite, but 4 feels good. Number 3 is going to be Splatoon 3, which I wish was 1, honestly, but it's not. I still don't think they did enough to distinguish Splatoon 3 from 2. And you can say, well, Call of Duty doesn't do enough to distinguish, but they're like different eras. And I know there's different gear, and I know there's some different weapons and some different stages, but I would have just loved for this game to feel more evolutionary. All things considered, it was 5 years between 2 and 3, and it feels like 1. You can't really tell too much of a difference, and they still stuck to their guns on so many strange things, like the time-rotating stages, and just different elements of the game that feel antiquated in comparison to advancing, flourishing online multiplayer games. This should be Nintendo's Fortnite, and it just didn't quite reach it. Single player is fun. I mean, the game looks really nice. I still don't like Salmon Run all that much, so it's going to sit at number 3, which means number 2 for me is Kirby and the Forgotten Land, a barnstormer of a title, a breakout hit, bringing Kirby into the 3D space, and it was delicious. Love the bosses, love the creativity, love the dark, oozy vibes of the latter worlds. Brilliant to play Kirby in a more adult setting with more interesting gameplay. I still wanted to collect everything, and it's pretty easy, all things considered, but the post-game does push you, and I do like that some of the later bosses feel a bit challenging, and acquiring the different power-ups and working through. I played it completely solo, but they do allow co-op as well. I just thought this was like a super job well done, and it felt like they were merging ideas from Mario 3D World into Kirby, and I think that's just a brilliant combo. Number 1 for me is gonna have to be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I can't believe I'm saying it. I never would have predicted it, but I love these games. Yes, their performance was pitiful, and I hope that they work to fix it. But what they've done here to evolve and expand the Pokemon franchise is just truly remarkable. Allowing you to explore an open world, tackle the gyms in any order, and have the freedom and fun to play co-op if you wish seamlessly is beautiful. It's so fun to soar on your motorbike across the land, jump from a glacial mountain and dive into the ocean and catch another Pokemon. The bestest, fastest way to explore and expand your Pokedex. They did a remarkable job at keeping the gyms unique, keeping the sort of storyline not too corny, and then at the end of the game, I won't spoil it, but that's where it blew itself to the top of the list. The end game in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the best the series has ever been. The end boss battle, the final area, the music, what they attempt to do there, the concepts, Paradox Pokemon, it's the best the Pokemon series has ever been. The crowning achievement, the Pokemon Company, is right there. I'm telling you. It's the best Pokemon's ever been. I cannot wait for the DLC. I will play it. And I'm excited about mainline Pokemon again, which I haven't been able to say truly, I don't know, since like Ruby Sapphire. A long time. It's been a really, really long time since I've been like genuinely geeked about Pokemon. And for that alone, it's amazing. But truly, I do think this was Nintendo. They evolved Zelda, they evolved Mario, they evolved Fire Emblem. They've tried to really take franchises and build upon them, make them bigger. Animal Crossing, okay? They did it for Pokemon, and I love it. My favorite Nintendo game of the year, an amazing achievement. And now we have to get through the bottom 3 real quick. Number 10, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Number 11, Triangle Strategy. Number 12, Live a Live. Okay, sorry about those. I'm not really the biggest JRPG guy, and Warriors games are a bit boring unless you're Age of Calamity. Anyhow, overall, I would say that the highs were high, but I feel like the middle chunk of the Switch lineup from the first-party Nintendo published games was strong. But I feel like there were too few highs. Like the high markers here are Scarlet, Kirby, and Splatoon, and all things considered, Splatoon is pretty big, but Splatoon to me was like a really good but disappointing game. And Kirby, don't get me wrong, Kirby's amazing. Maybe my surprise of the year outside of Marvel Snap on the mobile front, but it doesn't reach like a pillar. Right, I feel like Nintendo was missing like one more major game, and it probably was Zelda. I do feel like Tears of the Kingdom was initially intended to release this year, and so I feel like Nintendo had to amp up games like Mario Strikers, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Legends, and Switch Sports as more major releases, when in a different year, they would have maybe felt like they were more, okay, a small-time release. There was a good amount of variety: sports, shooter, RPG, action, platformer, and Pokemon. That was good, but I do feel like we were still a little light on the high end, and they didn't really deliver at the end of the year. No drop of Advance Wars, no drop of Metroid Prime Trilogy. We kind of just missed out on one more thing. Remember, 2 of these 12 games are downloadable only. One of them is Switch Sports. One of them is Triangle Strategy, which was published by Nintendo in the West, but I don't think it was in Japan. You know, we're not talking about Mario plus Rabbids, which honestly would have ranked super high. It honestly would have been my number 2 game, and maybe even challenged Pokemon Scarlet for number 1. I don't want to forget about that one because it's Ubisoft published, but it still uses Nintendo characters. So even if we count that, then it's like, okay, Pokemon and Splatoon and Xenoblade and Mario Rabbids, I mean, it feels better there, but I still feel like we're missing one. All things considered, 2022 was a pretty strong year because there weren't really any stinkers. Like, all of these games came out and were successful, were strong entries, were fun. Maybe the 9s are limited, but there's a ton of 7s and 8s. And I know some people would say, oh, Xenoblade, a 9. Pokemon Scarlet, a 9. Kirby, a 9. Maybe even Bayonetta 3, a 9. I feel like 2023 will be a stronger year. I do think 2022 was a better year than 2021. 2 Pokemon games, Splatoon's back, Kirby's reinvented, Bayonetta and Xeno get their trequels, Strikers is amazing gameplay, just lacking content, and then, you know, we do have a bunch of JRPGs for those that are into that sort of thing. So a stronger year, not the strongest year. I really think 2023 is going to be the home run hitter. You know, it's hard because I could also count like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC in this year and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC in next year. I don't want to just add DLC to these lists. That would be a lot to just sort of start evaluating DLC and bonus content on top of games, but I will give Nintendo credit for dropping that. I feel like a lot of these were band-aids for it being pandemic and them trying to, you know, deal with delays and cope with games getting slid and pushed. You know, if we get Mario and Zelda next year, that's instantly going to raise that right up the ranks with 2017, the initial launch year. But if we look at the band-aid of like Kirby's Dream Buffet, the band-aid of Mario Kart DLC, effectively doubling the size of the game and being like a Mario Kart 9, you know, maybe we say that, hey, getting us, you know, 2 Pokemon games was a way to sort of band-aid in spite of their performance. I think they did a good job. And all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed the year very, very much. Let me know what you think. How do you feel about Nintendo's first-party lineup in 2022? What was your favorite of their Switch games? And do you agree that Pokemon Scarlet reigns supreme? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, my wonderful people, love you lots. SwitchForce out.